Hello and welcome to Shy Talk, an Irish history podcast. My name's Kevin Larney, and for this week's episode, Jason Brennan read me a story about a spy master from Kerry. I mean, who wouldn't want to listen to that? You're set for the next hour. But while you're listening, maybe you can click on the link that's coming with the description of this episode. It'll bring you to all the stuff we keep banging on about. Tickets for the live show in Belfast that we're doing at the start of March. And social media and Instagram and all that sort of stuff. And the Patreon, where all the bonus episodes are going. Right this very second, Jason Brennan is editing an episode that we did about all the animation, about all the 90s animation related to Ireland. We've got Jackie Chan, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and The Simpsons. I realise now that a lot of that didn't happen in the 90s, but it's a good episode anyway. That's going up in the Patreon now, later on today. You also might notice this is a new intro because as two people pointed out to me straight away, the other one sounded shite. I'm using new software to edit it and I'm still getting the hang of it, so apologies about that. But here's the new intro, hopefully sounding good, and here's the episode all about the Bond spy Kerry James man for you to enjoy. Good luck.
Around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore on search of a glory. History and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find. Joseph from Carlow and Kevin the dog. Guide you through the ways of Shinedown.
William Melville was born on April 25th, 1850 in Kerry, in a little place called Sneem. I was going to ask you, do you know what Sneem is? But you've got a big mouthful of tofu.
Broccoli, actually.
Broccoli tofu.
I know Sneem well.
From Shy Talk alum.
Oh, damn. No.
Steve Casey.
Steve Casey?
Yeah.
Who the hell's that?
The pro wrestling world champion from the Dan O'Mahony episode.
Oh, we were only talking about him yesterday.
Yeah, because your dad listened, because he's gone blind.
He's gone blind and now he's listening to this. What a fate worse than death.
Do you know what else is Sneem's known for?
No.
Seemingly there's a lot of GA players from there because it's Kerry.
Of course.
But the 5th president of Ireland, Carval O'Dahlia.
Oh yeah, the forgotten one.
Nah. Do you know I had to really look up because it's not an easy translation because I don't speak Irish
Yes.
and the internet doesn't either. There's
No.
like
And he's
Google
from-
Translate doesn't work.
And he's not like, couple of fuckle Hector Irish. He's rural Kerry Irish.
Yes, yeah.
That's the real deal. Yeah.
No,
To
it's
rearrange your face.
Charles Daly.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say about him because
Yeah.
we're under pressure for time. The son of James and Catherine, the couple owned a pub and bakery. In his youth, he was known as a great hurler, but considering it's Kerry, I assume he just knew which end of the hurl to hold.
Kerry's class of her.
No, they're not. You don't understand sport. There'll be lads down in Kilkenny slapping their knees,
Kerry
guffawing all over me.
Kerry is the most All Ireland in both combined.
No, that's because they've won the most. They've won everything in football,
Yeah.
so that counts. That goes into.
No way. They're class of hurling. I won't hear another word of it.
So young William attended.
I know that you're just like setting up groundwork for the story, but this is also, I'm sure he's gone and done some interesting stuff, and that's why you're going to talk about him. But if I went to Sneem now, this is as far as the details would go. His mother and father was a baker. He was a great hurler.
Pretty much in general, if you look into him, there's very little details about this part of his life.
This is the only bit that matters.
What
did his mother and father do? Pub and bakery.
Yeah.
And he was tight with the hurdle.
At first, I thought it said baker and politician.
Oh.
But no, publican, which is even better.
Even better.
That's the groundwork for your son to be a politician.
Yes.
But so there's very little known about him from this part of his life. Now, if I went down to the Kerry County Museum in Tralee, maybe I would learn a bit about him because they've got a big exhibit on him. I think it's still going at the minute. Probably there forever now.
Yeah, but they're hardly going to, what are they going to replace it with?
Steve Casey.
Shane Clifford. Once he
Maybe.
becomes big enough. Yeah.
Shane's brilliant exhibit.
Yeah. Move over, Melville, whatever your name is.
Is it Tits Conway?
Tits Conway the dog. Yeah, there'd be a little plaque for him.
But so basically the story goes that he'd help out the parents when he'd have time in the pub/bakery.
Yeah.
He'd be good in school, very good at the hurling. Weekends, he'd go all the way to Killarney to collect supplies for the family business by cart and pony.
Nice.
Now, at some point, one week, he goes down, and then they realise the cart and pony are kind of left abandoned in Killarney.
Oh.
He's gone to collect supplies, but he doesn't come back. Now, there is a ship, probably, that has one extra passenger on it, because a couple of years later, he pops up in London.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first off, Killarney, not a port town. Tralee is. Why do you go to a different place to get a ship?
To throw them off the scent.
Nice.
Because then now they'd know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is like classic. You get someone to bring the pony and cart
down to
Killarney.
there. He's
you
gone
go
to
the other
Larne.
way.
He's gone to Scotland.
You make sure when they're going through the toll that they see your license plate so that they know you're on the way, but he's gone off.
Just you're the head of a Melville. You're dead right. You're dead right, I am. But he makes his way to London. He starts out in a noble trade, following the family business.
Called running away from your responsibilities.
No, being a baker.
Oh, okay.
Down in Lambeth. But it wouldn't be long before he'd be in a far less noble trade, joining the Metropolitan Police in 1872.
Damn. Having only been invented it's
not
long.
been going long. So 7 years after being in the police, working the beat on the street, he's promoted to.
That's what they called it, the beat cop, because they used to beat the shit out of everyone. Yeah. The Paddy Patrol.
But so after 7 years, he'd leave being a constable on the street to become a detective sergeant in the Criminals Investigation Bureau at the beginning of 1879.
Nice.
A few months later, marrying his lady, Kate O'Reilly, Mayo woman.
Okay.
Finding love over in England.
Yeah.
Now, he does well here. I don't know.
As a detective.
No, she's great looking.
All right, yeah.
No, as a detective.
He's doing well for himself.
He gets promoted in 1883 in March. He's recruited for a new post. He's set to work for Scotland Yard's newest division, the Special Branch.
Nice.
Do you know the Special Branch?
Yeah. Did we touch on this before? This is the new Scotland Yard at this stage, is it? After the Fenian bombings.
We'll get into that now.
Okay.
I think very possibly.
Yeah, I think they set up the Special Branch to catch the boys who were blowing up stuff.
Yeah. So this is the first ever one that they formed. There's special branches in all different countries that the English have gone over and done stuff in.
That's a nice way of saying.
And any reason that anyone would want to come over to England and do something back to them, special branch.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This is the first thing we set up. We teach you how to drink tea. We show you the flag, and then we set up a special branch that'll keep an eye on you for when inevitably you try and come back for retribution. Yeah, and don't say it won't happen.
But it's cool that the Irish are the first one.
Yeah,
that they're worried about us. Never mind Australia, Bahamas, Bangladesh, Belize, Brunei, Canada, Fiji, Hong Kong, India, Kenya, Malaysia, Myanmar/Burma, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Rhodesia, Singapore, South Africa, Sri Lanka, or Thailand. The Irish are the OG special branch. Very nice. They all banded together.
Yeah. But we're the closest.
We are
Apart from Wales and Scotland.
But they didn't have special branches for them.
Well, Scotland Yard, where do you think that was? It was in London.
London, you found that out a few months ago.
I did. Yeah. And Wales never really comes into it.
They don't like the English. Did I say that, or did I tell you that story the other week?
I mean, they say they don't, but...
No, seemingly they don't.
What have they done about it?
I tell you, when I got back from being over there the other week, I was talking to an English fella, and he had said that he went on 2 holidays with the boys, like outside of England.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said he went on a few, I guess, but he said Australia, don't mind them so much. Ireland, they weren't well liked, but they stayed in Temple Bar, and it wasn't so bad. That he'd said they went to Scotland, went for an all day into a place that had all day fry up, like breakfast above on the banner above the pub. Walked in, asked for the fry. No, sorry, man, I've stopped eating the fry. Fry's gone. 2 minutes later, 4 Scottish lads walk in. 4 fries, please. And he said the other time went down to a pub in Wales. Everyone was speaking English, was having pints, good time, like your Rovers return classic. And then went up, put a pound on the pool table, said, I will have the winner. And the 2 lads broke the pool cues, threw their pints on the table, spat on it, walked away, and everyone started speaking Welsh.
Yep. Okay.
I think the English are actually grand.
They are mostly, yeah.
Yeah, most of them.
They've just made a couple of mistakes.
I was saying this the other day to you, that I think it's the Thatcher ones.
Yeah.
That if you're from a mining town.
Yeah.
Or anywhere affected by Thatcher and her mining policies. probably sound enough, probably close enough to most Irish or Scottish people.
Yeah.
It's the rest of them that benefited from it.
Yes.
Yeah. Although I have friends now who are like Republican Irish and kind of are riding in strong behind Thatcher's ideas.
I know who. Yeah.
One of them got a tattoo of her on his foot.
Yes.
It was her coffin, so he could fucking dance on her grave every Saturday night.
But Thatcherite economics is the same as trickle down economics.
There are Jungle Canyon rope bridges.
Jungle Canyon rope bridges. Everyone in the 80s was like, what if we did a lot of cocaine and gave everyone massive tax breaks, and then maybe it'll just fix itself.
To see what happens.
Let's see what fucking happens. Come on. I'm sick of waiting.
They'll get a lot of good ideas out on the cocaine.
Yeah.
They'll work way longer hours. But do you know what the name of the Fenian attacks when they were bombing London back then? What they were called?
The London bombings.
The Dynamite War.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah. I think we talked about that for O'Donovan Rossa.
Yes, because it was, I haven't wrote down here, it was financed by the American Republicans, by the Fenians, and it was him who was kind of all behind it. This was between 1881 and 1885. Now they set up the Irish branch, the special branch for them, the Irish Bureau. There's 12 members in it, a good few of which were Irish. It was an attempt to infiltrate and find information about the attacks. That didn't go so well. They were finding it tough to get a hold of the men carrying out the campaign, led by Jeremiah O'Donovan Rossa, Jodder.
The golden.
No, I wrote down to save time. It's a very long name. Jeremiah O'Donovan Rossa.
Okay, yeah.
Jodder.
Yeah. When you've got special branch, everyone's coming in the morning with their stale coffee and pack of cigarettes, and the chief's there with a big whiteboard that says Jodder up the top. What we got, boys? He's making a mug of you. 6 months we've been chasing Jodder. We're not one step closer. Not one of you could even tell me what he bloody looks like.
Yeah, because photos probably weren't a thing at the time.
Yeah, so what do you want to be, to sketch him? He keeps moving. He's quick. He won't stand still.
So he's based in the States, I guess, at this point, but he's financing all of it. So they find it tough to get him. They probably would have a photo of him, but none of the random lads are sending over to do the attacks.
No.
And they're sending boys to and fro the States.
Yeah.
You assume that there's a few of them probably coming in via Ireland as well.
Probably.
And then also France.
Yeah.
Because they cop on to Americans coming to England. Why would you want to come back here? You've got the States.
Of course.
It's like the Americans who come to Ireland. It's like,
what the
just stay there. It's better.
Yeah.
I've been there. I'm trying to get back. So William is sent over.
But now they're all coming up through like Calais. How are you getting on? Je suis French. Let us in there, boss.
It was like when the
Let's go with the old dynamite.
The Fenians that were trying to attack Canada are kind of the same. They're just like, why is there a train full of Irish lads in US military garb coming into Canada when we've heard that you were going to do a raid? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm only up here to see the leaves change.
Toronto's class, I heard Vancouver has lovely seas.
Go Blue Jays.
But the boys, because of this, now for France, the English have copped on to this. So they're like, right.
Any excuse just to turn against the French.
Well, also, yeah. But, well, no, at this time, because this is pre-World War, we wouldn't hate them as well.
Yeah, the old enemy.
The old enemy, but then it's a weird timeline with the French. They still get a lot of shit. We give them shit in the club anytime they're in.
Yeah, the French.
Or I do specifically.
The French are great, Craig.
They are. Anytime they wave, I'm like, "Where's your white flag?" And it's like it's a whole thing. All stereotypes. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. I mean, Napoleon ruled half of Europe there for a good while.
Yeah, Napoleon did rule.
Yeah. But I think they never liked each other. I think that's the funny. We look back at World War I and World War II, and you're like, yeah, the Allies together again. I think it probably would be insane for anyone in the 1800s that France and England would help each other do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering the Germans were basically English anyway.
But the enemy of my enemy are also my enemy.
Also my enemy.
Yeah.
I live in an island. Everyone's my fucking enemy. That's always been the English approach. Even half of England is my enemy.
But now, let me take you to Le Havre.
Please do.
France.
Yes.
Right? Is that Normandy? It's up near. That's up the north anyway, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You looked it up.
It's a port city. It is up the north.
Oh, just like Killarney.
Yes. Now, so they send over William over to there. They need someone. Which, in fairness, is like, if you thought that they were on to you, and then there was an Irish lad just kind of hanging around Le Havre, bit of an English accent on him now, I'd think spy.
Yeah,
I think policemen sent over to try and infiltrate it.
but you don't. Yeah, okay, fair.
Because it didn't go that well. They didn't find too many of them over there. They were finding it tough to capture any of the men.
Well, it's the same as any spy.
It's tough to get them.
But I mean, like any film you see or whatever, people are in when a spy is infiltrating a group. That'd be my first, like, if I was setting up a heist or trying to do some secret cell thing, I just tell all the lads, no coincidences. For the next 6 months or whatever, if someone shows up that you went to school with, don't be like, oh, this is great. Oh, you should come in on this. If you bump into a guy in the pub and he's from the old country and it turns out that your mothers went to the same town or whatever, leave it out. Yeah. Just don't trust anybody.
That or the new guy.
Yeah, forget the new guy. Like, we don't need a new guy.
Last in, first
the
out.
Team. We don't need another. Once this is in motion, don't be just bringing other random lads along because they seem like a bit of crack. It's a closed door.
It's a big flaw in The Departed.
Yeah.
That they're just like, oh, who could the rat be? Who's it going to be? You're like, is it the last guy who joined the crew that no one knows and that there's no background for? You can't trace him anywhere.
You can't trace him. They know that he was kicked out of the cops for being a bad cop. Wait a minute. He was a cop. Yeah. When I tell you to hide a body, I mean get rid of it. Don't leave it in the marsh where some long john's gonna trip over it or he gets his blowy every Tuesday.
Not a bad Nicholson.
Not bad.
Now do the intro. The Irish.
Yeah.
We took everything. We worked for it.
We were good immigrants. We went over and we just integrated into America and took over the crime. No one handed us anything.
50 years later, we had the presidency.
We had the presidency. And what we spent that whole time funneling money back to the old country for an act of war. Unlike these immigrants today with their troubles.
We should do Whitey Bulger at some point and his links to the IRA.
We kind of did on that art episode.
Yeah, but a full one.
A full one, yeah. Well, spoilers for the end of it, I guess, but he made it the whole way to, what, his 80s or 90s?
Yeah.
Shanked in a prison.
Shot in the eyes.
In the eyes, as a mega rat.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough way to go.
That is, yeah.
Would you have rather gone at like 60 and like...
Oh, definitely.
Oh, but you get an extra 20 years.
20 years of being...
Like, he didn't go to jail until very late, though.
That is true.
So you get like, it's just a really horrible death the way you go, but you do get 20 years for it. I'll ask you again at 60.
That's true. Well, no, when I went into prison, I'd be like, here's 10 grand. Just pay someone. Be like, just come up. Pay a guard just to be like, just shoot me. Don't let me know when it's happening. Just do it.
Yeah. Although, you always hear about like Nazi soldiers having like a cyanide pill in their tooth.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been true then.
Why?
Because then surely every criminal, once they get to a certain age, would be like, I'm going to put in there in case I go to jail or something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or you're just worried that you're going to crack your tooth on like a stale tiger loaf.
You know when you have an ulcer and you're like, don't toy with it. Don't toy with it. It'll heal itself if you leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Imagine if there was a tooth in your head that could kill you in an instant.
It's like a pesky spot.
Yeah. And you're just like, I know, well, I'm not going to touch it, obviously, because I'll die and then, you're dead.
But I can lick my tongue around it a couple of times.
Toy it a little bit.
Just making sure it's haven't broke the seal.
Which one was it again? Oh, no.
Give me that pick. I've no segue for what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, mega rats.
Back
to Melville.
Back to Melville.
What's his name again?
William Melville.
William Melville.
Yeah. So he's sent over to Le Havre. He stays for 4 years.
Yeah.
He has 2 kids, Cécile Victorien.
Oh, so we went deep undercover.
Yeah, he learned French.
Okay.
That's why you're a serious man at that stage.
Yeah.
I can't speak English.
Yeah.
Also, I've never lived in England, so
makes
that's
sense.
Probably why. But him and the wife are over there. 2 kids now. Cécile Victorien passed away after 5 years. Sad. His other kid, Sir James Melville, who married Sarah Tugander, who worked as the private secretary for Conservative politician Bonar Law.
Bonar Law's back.
Yeah, only for a little bit, only for a mention.
Hey, listen, don't start. Maybe it doesn't last as long as it used to. But
we're not
the story. That's okay.
Not a full Bonar, just a semi.
Yeah. Is he prime minister yet?
No, not at this point. Future PM Bonar Law. Yeah, she works for him for 9 years before leaving to set up.
Worked under Bonar Law.
But she works under him for 9 years before leaving to set up the South Kensington Labour Party with her husband and ran his successful campaign for general election in 1929, But forget about that. We got to jump way back
Yeah.
in time. But here's a little background. William stationed in France until
Put away
18...
that boner. Let's get back to work.
We've got serious things to talk about.
Yeah.
William was stationed in France in 1888, even though the Dynamite War had fizzled out from 1886. But so for a little while, he had to go back to London to file a little thing called the Jubilee Plot.
Okay.
That was where the Irish had planned to blow up Queen Victoria's celebrations for her Jubilee anniversary. It's the 50th year anniversary.
Okay.
That was 1887.
Yes.
She's over there just for a little bit. Melville and Scotland Yard had been watching the main plotters, the Irish, the Fenians, and the Prime Minister allegedly knew about the whole thing and encouraged it. They'd been following those involved in the plot since they arrived in the UK, had been publishing disinformation in the papers saying they'd foiled plots of attacks in Westminster and stuff, so they thought, oh Jesus, they don't know what we're actually onto.
Yeah.
Let's go get her. I think they even named possibly the wrong man who had just died as the financier of the plot and had hoped that they'd get more Fenians on board now that they thought that they'd thrown them off the scent.
Yeah.
So it's cat and mouse.
I do love this. Say what you will about the British, and you've said a lot. I do love British spy stuff.
It's class.
It
yeah.
is great.
We went to the spy museum
We did in Germany.
in Berlin.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
And most of the good spy stuff was the English, apart from some of the cool like Russian tools. Like it's a pen, but it's also a magnifying glass, or it's a magnifying glass, but it's also a magnifying glass.
Just the stuff that they were. What's the phrase about the World War? They say it's won on American weapons, Russian bodies, and English intelligence.
Oh, that's good. I don't remember that. I was too busy trying to crawl through lasers.
Yeah. But so they're just, this is like using the Queen as bait to lure out more Fenians.
Yes.
I like it.
But yeah, so they think they're going to get more Fenians on board, so they'll catch a big group of them all together.
Yeah.
The reason they're probably encouraging this is because they knew it was a fake terrorist attack, because the lad who was leading the whole thing, British spy. Yeah, Irish lad turned.
I wonder, does that ever happen where if you get down to like a small cell, but they're all spies, and they're all kind of egging each other on, but they're all undercover operatives,
like The Departed.
Yeah,
Isn't there?
There's two, and possibly a third.
Yeah, in the same group.
And at that point, it's just entrapment. Like if he's leading this fake plot,
yeah, it is entrapment.
Yeah.
I knew a lad in America that happened to. That
he got entrapped.
There was a lot, like an FBI agent or CIA agent went in.
Put him in a house with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, lasers. He'd. I think it was just after college. It must have been around the time of like Iraq or Bush getting elected or something. And there was a lad in their group, and they were going to go and like protest, not like January 6th protest. This one they were going to do something. But one of the, like, some lad kind of told them, you know what we should do? We should Molotov cocktail them. And they were like, yeah. On second thought, not. He's like, no, come on, let's Molotov cocktail them. And then he was like, okay, let's make the Molotov cocktails. They're like, I don't know if we should do this. And they're like, no, come on, it'll be good. And then they got down there and they arrested him and they all went to jail for years. Yeah, he spent years in jail and he was a bit weird after.
I would imagine that would mess a man up.
Yeah, there's a documentary about it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but if you just Google that story.
Word for word.
Yeah. Just audio clip what I've just said.
Yeah.
Put that into Google. And if it's working, if the algorithm's working, that's a search engine.
If the algorithm's working, but if you open up YouTube there now, it'll be there. First recommendation.
ChatGPT it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I've been saying it a lot. I say it for everything now. Coffee? ChatGPT.
Why don't you ChatGPT me a coffee?
And so the reason they were doing all of this, not just to catch the Fenians, they were hoping that once they'd caught them all, it was basically a big entire plot cooked up to ruin Charles Stuart Parnell's Home Rule campaign.
Right, by arresting a load of Fenians.
And saying that he had planned it and that they were coming over as a terrorist organisation.
Nice.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have been a big fan of doing that.
Yeah.
His idea was peace and politics.
Politically,
if we get him, if we nail him to the cross.
Yeah, what if we arrest a load of men and be like, you know who did this? The man who's vocally opposed to it. Yeah.
But did you ever hear this? Did you ever hear the story about that the journalist in Ireland who forged his signature, and so they thought that they actually had him? The Times in England, I think it was the Times, published a articles saying, "Is like, look at this. We've got the signature of Charles Stewart Parnell
Okay.
that he did order these attacks." But that was some Irish lad who just forged his signature and charged them £5,000.
Oh.
Yeah, Peugeot or something. I don't have time to go into it now. But this is one of the. I'm going to do a Patreon episode about that, and also this bombing in general.
Yeah.
Now Melville, after this, went back to France. Ended up in another major case, trying to track down a doctor called Francis Tumblety, who had fled over to France from London in November 1888. Known for keeping female body parts in specimen jars and for being of Irish descent, he was a clear suspect in the Jack the Ripper case.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irish doctor,
Okay.
body parts. What more do you need?
Yeah, we've got this suspect. He's an Irishman. Say no more.
Yeah, we got
Melville's on the case.
We've had something else.
What happened to Melville when he was a kid that he just hates his own people so much?
Well,
This Quisling
he's.
turncoat.
We've got time for that at the end.
Okay.
And because there's more to him, I
Yeah.
think. He's an interesting character. Because I don't think he hates Ireland as much as he doesn't like terrorist organizations.
But this man,
Loves being a spy.
this man's not a terrorist. He's just murdering women and keeping their body parts in jars.
Where's
Where's the terror in that?
Oh, you're dead right. But Tumblety, I don't have time to go into him properly. But
Okay.
he went over to France, fled London. They tried to track him down. No luck, he got away. It's not long after until William Melville comes back to London. But I'm going to do a story about Tumblety.
Okay.
Also on the Patreon.
Yes.
Because I don't have time to go into pornographic salesman, pickpocketer in New Orleans, quack doctor who might have been Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
But that's a whole other episode. The Patreon's going to be, it's going to be full next month. It's all spies and murder.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people Jack the Ripper killed?
Like 7.
Daddy, 5.
Yeah.
Weak numbers.
Yeah.
That's...
And they're not even all definitely him.
No. So it's more of a copycat.
Or just a few.
Just 5 lads killing...
Yeah. 5
Imagine if
women
every
were
truck
murdered.
driver murder in America was put down to the one
guy, yeah.
Yeah. Zodiac.
Well, it's the same with the Zodiac. He killed like 4 people.
Yeah, and Ted Kaczynski didn't do anything wrong either.
No. That's going to be my drag name now.
Ted Kaczynski.
Una Bomber.
Una Bomber.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so after Tumblety evades him and heads off, probably to New Orleans. Fair, there's a lot of Irish people went there. When I went over, they've got the Irish Museum. It's a bit shite, but it is free in, and in the back of it, it's only like one room, but in the back of it, there's a cafe that does an okay pint of Guinness.
Oh.
And what more do you need?
So the whole museum is just a front.
Literally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, so after Tumblety gets away, William and his wife and 2 kids head back to London. Remember I said about him having 2 kids?
One of them died.
4 of them actually. He had 4 kids.
Oh.
I just found that after doing a little more research. But if you don't die young or become the founding member of the Socialist Party, yeah, fucking...
What are you doing?
What are you doing? So yeah, this is one of them. I guess the young one must die... Maybe of pneumonia as well. The wife dies of pneumonia not long after they get back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so now he's left with... I know, at this stage he has 4 kids, all under the age of 7.
Okay. So he's got 4 alive kids, no wife.
Yeah.
He's fucked up the Tumblety case.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him for the Tumblety.
I'm blaming him.
No, he's evasive. He's a pickpocketer, Jack the Ripper, doctor. He's got porn.
Yeah, that's...
Anytime you try and catch him, he's like, there he is, and he just throws a picture of a naked lady up in the streets swarm with men. I'm never going to catch this guy. It's a tough case. It's all rough and tumbledy.
Yeah, rough and tumbledy.
But and at some point he has to go back. I think this is around then that the Shah of Persia, if I'm pronouncing that right, Iran.
Yeah, the Shah of Iran.
Yeah.
Phil Leotardo.
What'd you call me? He had to go back. He's coming over for a visit. And he's set in charge of looking after him. And doesn't die. So that's a big feather in his cap.
I don't know why that just reminds me of like a Carry On setup. Just sounds like an old British sitcom. Now, I know things haven't been going well for you, Melville. You've botched the Tumblety case. Your wife's dead of pneumonia. But I think we've got an easy chore for you. The Shah of Iran is going to be in town for a couple of days, and we want you to look after him.
Iran? I thought you said you were a man. But... Yeah, so that's good for him now. Yeah. That's worked out well. And also worked out well, one of his friends in the one of his colleagues, I don't know if they're how close they were, but in the special branch, dies, leaving a widow.
A widow.
Yeah, and love is easier back then.
Yeah. Oh, your husband's dead. My wife's dead. We should just.
Yeah, you take these four kids. I gotta go spy on people.
I gotta go hang out with the Shah of Persia.
So Melville is promoted to inspector, and he's the head of the new special branch called. Oh, it's also just called Special Branch.
Also called Special Branch.
Yeah. He was tasked with looking after socialist revolutionaries, anarchists, and just keep an eye on the Fenians, just in case.
Yeah.
So it was during this time that he'd made his first big break.
Well, what year is this? The early 1890s?
This is like the early 1890s. So it's during this time he uncovers a big plot. Now, he has a feather in his cap already, and he's doing well. There's the Fenian, there's the bombing of the Jubilee.
Yeah.
It goes pretty all right. There's the Shah of Persia. That's pretty good.
No mess ups there.
Then this is a weird one, right? He uncovers a plot in Walsall in the Midlands that sees 6 men arrested, 4 of them convicted for like terrorist acts. I guess like they thwarted a bomb threat, an anarchist bomb plot.
Okay.
Now, they say, history written by the sore losers. Some people cast a shadow over the whole affair because the bomb was very poorly made. It wouldn't even go off if they tried.
Okay.
The 6 men in question were deemed to be fairly dim-witted, unorganised, and of no real threat to Britain. These naysayers also point out the fact that England was under pressure from countries at the time because they were harbouring. They had like an open immigration policy.
Okay.
Much like no.
England had an open immigration policy.
It was the only country I think at the time in Europe that was just like fucking take everyone, and that's why today. But so they're just harbouring a load of anarchists then.
Okay.
Because everyone's
was it open immigration between them and all of their colonies, aka whatever?
I think just Europe and anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so there were harbouring. I was going to say anyone could go over, but there was a lot of then anarchists who were heading to England because they're not wanted in their own countries.
It was anarchy in the UK.
Yes.
Oh.
And so this is all people are saying. I don't know if this bomb plot was even really a thing.
Right.
They're just jealous, trying to keep a good man down. Jealous of William's success.
Yeah. Why would he make it up?
Exactly. It just wouldn't make any sense. And now in his new role as the head of the special branch.
Right.
So now I see even more jealousy.
Yeah.
Especially this lad used to work with him in the special branch, Sergeant Patrick McIntyre.
Okay.
He came out after he got fired. I think Scotch maybe.
Oh,
he got fired by William. And he came out and said that whole thing was actually just a setup. It never existed. That was all just his concoction to get ahead in life.
Yeah, because when you were going through his big successes so far, the Jubilee thing, he made that up.
Yeah.
Tumbledy, let him go.
Yeah.
Tweedledum, gone as well.
Persia doesn't exist.
Yeah, what Shah of Persia? That sounds like busy work. Who's going to try and kill the Shah of Persia?
No, Prince of Persia. That's a real...
You can't mess with that, man.
But, all of this... Okay, so it did come out in police reports about 8 years after that this was all made up.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's for the good of the people.
It's for the good of the nation.
Yeah, and everyone's annoyed at England for having all these anarchists. So they're like, why don't we just stitch up some anarchists?
Stitch up some.
Yeah, come on, anarchists. Let's get some Molotov cocktails.
Yeah. Build a bomb. Go on. Do it.
Like Build a Bear in America, but it's just Irish lads.
Put on this balaclava and go stand over there.
But yeah, so what... can you trust that man now?
I trust that he's going to put Britain first and do whatever it takes.
Yeah, well, Britain, but the good of everyone. No one likes anarchists. Or some people do, I guess.
People do, yeah.
Yeah, but in the...
What's anarchy in the 1880s and 90s? I think England should have free healthcare for all. They'd probably be shot.
Nah. We're getting it soon.
They have it. They've had it since the 50s.
They do, but it's only for tit jobs and lip fillers.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a good thing about the NHS, that just at least once a year you get, like, on the very front of the Sun, is like, this woman's after getting a big fucking boob job. And you know what she did? She murdered her husband. And that's our tax-paying money. This wouldn't have happened if something Brexit.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I love those papers.
But... Well, I trust him. He seems like a good spy master. He knows how to set up a false flag operation.
You got the spy master name.
Yeah.
You do like spies.
Of course. Yeah.
I think it's a cool term.
It is, yeah, spy master. Who wouldn't love that?
But that must be annoying if you're like like a lesser spy? What do you call it as a regular spy? Is it just regular spy?
I'd try if I was in charge. If I was a late 19th century aristocrat, and I came across all this, I'd bring Melville into a room and like stare out a window with my hands behind my back. Like, it's come to my attention, you forged a bombing plot against 6 innocents. Well done. The only problem was it was a little sloppy. We need men like you, Melville. Men who know that to make an omelette, you need to lock up a couple of immigrants. What would you say to a new job as a spy master? There's a tide coming, Melville. It'll wash away the undesirables.
Whose accent is this?
Every villain from every film.
What one in particular?
All of them. The British man who's behind the scenes and he's like, it's
You
good.
sound like the scientist from Succession.
Brian Cox.
Yeah.
What a great voice.
Yeah. Fuck off.
There's a storm coming, Melville, and soon everyone will have to fuck off away from Britain. Melville! You want a job mastering spies?
It's only hitting me now. Do you know anyone with the last name Melville?
No.
Maybe he was never Irish at all.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I guess I don't think he's sold his nation down the river.
No.
He's
I mean,
only...
it sounds like it.
It sounds like it, but it's also... He's meant to be... He's a Catholic man. He's in favour of home rule. He loves the GAA.
Okay.
He just doesn't think we should be bombing innocent people. And in fairness,
But what about setting up a load of Fenians to pin it on Charles Parnell?
maybe he wasn't privy to that part of it.
Maybe not.
I would hope not, actually, because if he was a big home ruler,
Yeah.
that would be, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a tough one. But getting the Fenians who were bombing it, because in fairness, going through the list there, and it's like 80 people injured, 1 or 2 dead,
Yeah.
all innocents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 1 little boy. He's the only one that wasn't innocent. Yeah, but so at this stage now, Melville's reputation and career, strength to strength, becomes chief inspector and superintendent. He was been trusted with royalty and political figures, so he became a bit of a star in the papers. You'd always see him around. He'd be in the papers in England, in Ireland, in Europe. There was one time he came back to Ireland, a quote here: Chief Inspector Melville of Scotland Yard is a native of Sneem in this county and has been there on holidays lately. He acted as one of the judges at the sports recently held in Sneem and only left there for London on Monday week. Mr. Melville was a promising athlete before he went to London many years ago and was considered one of the best hurlers in South Dunkerin at the time. He takes a great interest in athletic sports and is a prominent supporter of the Gaelic Athletic Society in London. That's in the Kerry paper.
Okay.
And then it's published all around the country and over in England. So I don't think people are really against him.
No. That's kind of strange.
It is.
Maybe not. I mean...
But he hasn't done anything apart from try to stop lads who are bombing
Yeah.
people. So that's really... If you stopped it there and just said he's good with everything, he just doesn't like people bombing innocent people.
Okay.
There's still a debate to be had.
Whether it's good or not. That's good. They had him down as a judge for the local sports.
The local sport, no idea. Felt like if it was that GAA, but even then it's the Gaelic Athletic Society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas.
The gas. But the timelines are a bit all over the place at this stage. He definitely did arrest some famous anarchists.
Okay.
Famous bomber Theodule Meunier and got the legendary spy Shlomo Rosenblum to turn spy for the English against the Russians, the people of his native land.
He turned Shlomo Rosenblum.
Yes.
Okay.
You're trying to think of something to do with that?
No. I don't know how you could make fun of a name like Shlomo Rosenblum.
Well, what if I told you this?
Yeah.
That he's betrayed his own country, the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if I was to tell you maybe he wasn't even Russian at all? Because 100 years later, they still have no idea where he came from. And under interrogation, he often said his name was Sidney George Riley, the ace of spies, a son of a clergyman from Clonmel, Tipperary.
Oh, the ace of spies.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm going to do a whole separate episode about him. I've got three whole episodes.
Excellent.
And there could be more if I wanted to.
Yeah. But, so he called Shlomo. This still seems mad to me that he was allowed to be be chief inspector of Special Branch?
I think of Brendan Bracken.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't Brendan Bracken like downplay him being Irish?
He did, but surely people knew.
Yeah.
Because he was also like, he lied about his age and everything.
Yeah.
And he said like the schools he went to where he would have been in the same classes as all the people who he would have been working with.
Sure.
And they were like, it's grand. He's one of the good paddies.
Yeah. Well, Melville led the way, I guess.
Yeah, and then he has another little one here I found. Not too much about it, but he was a good lock picker.
Okay.
An escapologist, maybe. Who knows? But he learned this from his good friend, Harry Houdini. Yeah. Who had been, he was very impressed with him when he did a showcase at Scotland Yard.
Yeah.
And so they became friends and he learned a lot from him.
Okay.
And then he helped thwart an attack on Wilhelm II's life during Queen Victoria's funeral with the help of his then colleague and future rival Gustav Steinhauer.
Okay.
Now, this was a big deal in the papers, and
I would imagine so. Who was trying to kill Wilhelm II?
Fenians, I don't know.
Someone.
Yeah. But so at this stage now, he's been non-stop just in the papers.
Was Wilhelm II that guy that Dutch football team's named after?
Yes. Dan Crowley plays for them now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so Queen Victoria, well, she's dead now.
Yes.
But good old Wilhelm II, he's alive.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Thanks.
but it's the Germans and the English working together here because Gustav Steinhauer,
Yeah.
they're friends. But yeah, so this has gone all over the papers, and he's now kind of famous, and he has been for a while, which is why it's a shock to everyone. Wilhelm retires at the age of 53 in his prime.
Yeah.
Is November 1903. He just wanted to sit back, enjoy the golden years. This didn't make any sense to the press.
No.
Especially the Daily Express, who ran a story in 1906 saying
World War One's meant to start soon.
Not too far off.
Yeah.
But no, they thought he went to go work as a spy for the Russians, for their secret police.
Wilhelm.
No. William Melville.
Sorry. You said Wilhelm II's retiring. I was like, what?
No, William.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. It's like some fake out retirement thing.
You can't retire from being the Kaiser.
Sure you can. You abdicate.
Nah, that's not retiring.
Yeah, people do it all the time. I thought he did leave and then he came back.
But even if you were going to do that, you wouldn't spend your golden years in a flat like in Victoria Street, London.
Oh, wait, so sorry. William Melville retires at 53 in his prime.
Yeah. Body's failing him, but the mind sharp as ever.
There's no such thing as a social pension because those anarchists won't get their way. But and they reckon he's not just an old man retiring. He's working for the Russians.
He's gone to work for the Russian spies.
French Shlomo Rosenblood.
Yeah.
Rosenbaum.
He rejected this idea, said it was foolish, nonsense.
Yeah.
After years of working for the Queen and spying all his life,
he
was enjoying his later years in a flat in Victoria Street in London, happy in retirement. Nothing to keep him busy but boiling the kettle, going for the odd walk, reading the paper, perchance, and heading up the secret covert spy organisation running foreign and counterintelligence under the pseudonym William Morgan.
Nice.
Which is obviously, so he's not, if he's that famous and he's retired, and they're like, this guy's gone to go, he's still coming out saying, no, I'm not a spy.
Yeah.
But he's also going now under a pseudonym, which is also his first name is the same name.
Yeah. Because it's fun to it's what the Russians do a lot. You gotta let people know that it is you, but you're not confirming.
Yeah.
It's like Jerry Adams, I'm not in the IRA. It's we poisoned the man using poison that's only available in Russia, but it wasn't us, but it will happen again. It's I'm not a spy, but maybe I'm running the spy ring. You don't fucking know. Well, I'm Smiley.
Michael Smiley?
What's his
name?
And
I'm not in the IRA.
I'm Michael Smiley and I'm not in the IRA, but I know everything about you. I'm Sir Alec Guinness. I'm Obi-Wan.
Do you know where Victoria Street is?
Is it right near Baker Street?
It is right across the road from Scotland Yard.
Nice.
It's directly across.
Has he got a secret passage between the two?
I think he just walks straight over there. Wearing a big t-shirt that says, I'm not William Melville.
I'm not I need to borrow a cup of sugar. Is that a crime? We're neighbours. It's neighbourly. I'll be back in 7 to 9 hours.
Yeah, now this is the secret organisation.
Get this press out of here. One man with a raven's quill, a comically large photograph machine.
The MO3 or and then later MO5, I guess,
No way.
the secret covert part of the Metro Police.
Yeah.
He would report under the code name M, possibly for Morgan, his new fake name, or maybe forget M
Or for Melville.
Yeah, that's true as well. Also, he's changed his name from William M to William M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
And Morgan's still like an Irish name. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's because he's poking the bear.
See, he's too close to Isengard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But
So wait, hang on a sec. You're telling me now that he's M and he's working for what is it, MO3?
MO3 later
Which will become-
MO5.
Which will later become MI5.
No.
No.
You're no. Now in 1909
Yeah.
or so, the British set up both MI5 and MI6.
Okay.
One for the home.
What does it stand for?
I don't know, but what MI5
intelligence.
I think is for home spy affairs, and M16 is when you go on your hollybops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say hollybops.
Hollybops.
That's such a terrible word.
Holidays.
I know what it
Yeah,
means.
it's fun.
No, it's not
cheerful.
fun. It's not fun.
It's the
People
kind of thing
shouldn't-
Ted Lasso would say. And
It
he'd
is
enjoy
the sorts. People shouldn't talk with joy about their holidays.
bopping around
Ah.
on your holliers. Is
Also-
holliers okay?
No, just be
What,
miserable.
Hollyoaks?
I'm going on my allotted vacation leave time from work.
Staycation?
Why do all these words annoy me? They're all just words for being happy.
Well, do you know what'll make you happy?
What?
Uh,
Wait, but so hang on,
The code name
MI5
M is M from James Bond.
Yes, Judi Dench.
Yes. It's
That does make me happy.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, you see, I think he might become, well, some historians dispute it, but a lot of people said that he was the head of the MI6, MI5,
Okay.
maybe both, maybe none.
Damn.
But his job was making lists of all the suspicious foreigners around England. Which now there's loads of that's
what
most
everyone
lads'
does.
jobs.
That's most middle-aged men's pastime.
Most retired old white men.
Just keep an old mental list.
I'm Bond.
Oh, Bond, you're incorrigible.
And in 1912, he found the main ring of German spies. This is getting very close to World War One, and they can kind of see it coming through. There's spy novels at this stage had started becoming a big deal. Joseph Conrad,
Yes.
he did one called The Secret Agent.
Okay.
That was all about a guy called M. Or there's the crux of the whole thing, I think, is a big bomb plot that gets thwarted by a man called M.
Okay. You wonder then, like, when stuff like that comes out.
Yeah, because this is 1907, and
Yeah.
he's still going by this name and doing that.
But did you ever see 3 Days the Condor?
No.
It's very, very good. But I think it's Robert Redford. Anyway, they were running the CIA. They were a bookshop, but it's covered for the CIA. And they read through every new book looking for leaked information. I think, anyway. I'm not entirely sure what the thing was. But, yeah, like, so if Joseph Conrad, he's the Heart of Darkness guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
and some other titles I'm not allowed to say on the...
Yeah, sure, yeah. Actually, we'll be talking about him next week with the Roger Casement thing.
Okay.
But if you read a book with all this like information about it, surely that's ringing off alarm bells in the old MI5 shop.
Yeah.
Like we were talking, myself and Lisa were talking the other day about there's a famous case from World War II where a local newspaper in England, one of the clues that showed up in the crossword was for gold. And they're like, gold? Oh, that's one of the secret names for the landing in Normandy we're going to be doing. But, you know, common enough word. Then Juno came up the next week. Like, oh, it's 2 for 2. What are the odds? And then they all, like Sword, Omaha, whatever, they all came up. Operation Overlord. And they were freaking out. And then years later, it turns out, I don't know if they ever got to the bottom of it, but basically that there was a local schoolmaster who set the crossword clues. And they were near a military base. And one of the kids in particular, he came forward years ago and he said, you should just hang out at the military base. And he just picked up these words. Because obviously he was a kid and he was fascinated by like all the military and World War II stuff. And he just like, the headmaster would get them to fill out some of the words sometimes. But all these, they were like, there was the most secret key operation of the war to land in Normandy. And all the code names were showing up in a local crossword.
That is deadly.
Yeah.
And he
But-
wouldn't have known. Fuck.
They went down and like grilled the headmaster, but he was like, I only briefly read the
nothing
story.
about
the
it,
other day.
yeah.
No, he did, and then he called one of the boys up, and apparently the boy told them the story, and he said, I think this is an interview from the boy I was reading, where he said years later that he showed this headmaster his notebooks and stuff, and the headmaster burnt them, and was like, don't ever tell anyone about this, or we are both fucked. Because he'd accidentally been putting military secret codes in the local newspaper.
But do you know, it doesn't have to do with the war, unless you count WWE as a war every night of the week.
World War E.
Raw.
Mm-hmm.
It's war backwards.
Damn.
Yeah. SmackDown. That's entertainment.
Frontward and backwards.
Yeah. But Chris Benoit, I don't want to get too much into it, but like, yeah, that guy who like killed it, he was like roid rage and just an 82-year-old Alzheimer's patient heading him by the time he was like 30 odd.
Yeah.
And he killed his family and himself. When he didn't, like, the next day, the WWE they were like, he's not showing up to fight, so no one's like, oh, whatever. And maybe it's the very beginning of Twitter or somewhere online, or maybe the guy changed like his Wikipedia page, and some kid had said the reason he's not there tonight is because after murdering his family and himself. And then they went straight to that kid's house and were like, how the fuck did you know? What did you do with this? He's like, I was just shit talking on the internet.
Yeah.
Is that what actually happened? No.
No,
Teach a lesson, kiddie, sonny boy.
That's mad.
Yeah. It was like Homer in The Simpsons or Mel Gibson in, what's it called? Conspiracy?
If you just talk enough shit, eventually you're going to accidentally get something right.
Yeah.
That's the aim of this podcast.
Yeah, at some point.
But so now M is in charge of MI5.
Yes,
and he's going
6.
after the German spy ring.
Yeah.
Joseph Conrad's writing stories about him called The Secret Gentleman.
And it's like 5 years. Yeah, that book comes out like 5 years before.
Okay.
And he's literally living across from Scotland Yard. Yeah. But now you were saying about them reading newspapers or books to get true information. It's not quite that. Now, he's found out the German spy ring. They find it in 1912, and they leave it go until 1914.
Yeah.
What happens in 1914?
World War Fun.
Joseph Conrad's classic novel. No. They leave it go until the war starts, and then a few weeks after that, or a month or two, he goes and gets one up on Gustav Steinhauer, his old friend enemy.
Yeah.
They've got all the spies in all kind of a shop.
What, in England?
Yeah.
A bakery.
A barber shop. That's where all the lads that hang out.
Yeah.
They're in there, they're playing pool, they're showing each other Tinder photos of women that'll never actually meet them. Yeah. Oh, it's a hoot. And they catch all 21 of them at the same time. It says they catch all 21 of them at the same time, but I don't know how they know that that's all of them.
Yeah.
Because if you ask them, they're not going to be like, there's only 21 of us.
Well, they're Germans, so they're very forthcoming with information.
That's true.
You got us. Fair play. We'll get you next time, Tommy.
Next time?
No. You got us that time as well. Well, the time after that, we will get you.
But from here, he'd go on and teach spy school, and then he'd retire in 1917.
For real this time.
Mm-hmm. He dies in 1918 of kidney failure.
Was this the thing?
Or...
Oh!
Nah, I think he did.
Yeah.
But remember his son, James?
Kidney was an undercover German operative.
It was an undercover liver.
Yeah.
Do you know his son, James Melville?
Yeah.
Before he was a politician, he was a lawyer that defended anarchists who killed a policeman in a shootout called the Sydney Street Siege.
Okay.
I'm not going to do an episode on that.
Okay.
If people are interested, go read it. It's pretty good. And one of them, Jacob Peters, was thought to definitely be guilty, but the prosecution was so bad he got off before going back to Russia and working for Vladimir Lenin.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is William Melville's son.
Yeah.
Doing the opposite. Trying to impress your dad by doing the thing he hates.
That'll get his attention.
He also,
and maybe his respect.
And he also unsuccessfully tried to defend the lesbian novel, The Well of Loneliness, from censorship because he sounded like a nice guy.
Have you read it? It's hot as shit. Come on.
This is the sexiest thing in the world. Not as sexy as being a spy, son.
A what?
A lesbian spy.
A lesbian spy. I've retired. I wouldn't know anything about it.
But he did fight in the war as an officer in Gallipoli, of all places.
Wait, young Melville.
Yeah,
okay.
And then left as a major. He died at 46. 2 years after becoming an MP, he died pretty quickly, and they were like, that's probably remnants of the war. But I just said I'd throw him in at the end. He's fighting, doing the opposite of the dad.
Or did his old man have him shut down?
I don't know if they didn't really find much about their... I'm sure if I went down to the museum in Tralee,
There'd be more there.
There'll be more there. If you just look up the exhibit online there's probably a lot as well. But that's William Melville.
That's great.
Yeah, spies. And now there's going to be way
Yeah.
more spies because I've got
Because
that.
you're like a child who's just discovered Egyptology.
What?
Just don't worry about it. You can read about that after you finish The Spies. Nah, that's great. Oh, this is the perfect time we can watch the Ipcress Files.
Oh yeah, that'll be our
Yeah.
film club.
But we basically invented Bond.
Yeah, Bond, and in fairness, Brendan Bracken is a pretty good spy himself.
That's true.
In fairness, and it was your man said, what's your man who wrote the essay or the study about the lads out in Inisheer?
Yeah.
Just saying they just lie for the fun of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're good at it. You
We are
wouldn't
good
know.
at it.
Yeah.
We're good at getting secrets out of people as well.
Yeah, and keeping
Maybe.
them.
Yeah.
And not doing anything with them. You trust an Irishman.
Because he's forgotten what you've already said.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's our story for this week. Sure, there's no real climax to the end of it. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe he's
secretly
a
still
spy
alive.
in Argentina hunting Hitler.
Yeah. We should just start writing films about Irish Bond. Get Pierce Brosnan back on track.
They're underrated Bond movies. They're fun.
They're perfectly rated, I think.
GoldenEye was very good.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
was fun and the great video game.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are fun. You've got
You
they're
just keep
fun.
saying they're fun.
Yeah, they are. They're stupid and fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
it's Pierce
just-
Brosnan.
Yeah. I guess maybe because growing up with those Bonds, like I remember when Pierce Brosnan parachuted into a meeting with a Union Jack parachute and he lands outside Buckingham Palace. And that's not what spies should do. Spies are supposed to be kind of half-kicked looking people who just deal in secrets, not Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
If Henry Cavill walked into a room, people would be talking about it for the next
He wouldn't
6
get in the
months.
room. He wouldn't fit through the door.
Yeah,
He's
exactly, yeah.
huge,
Have you seen anyone suspicious around here lately? Actually, I did see the most handsome man I've ever seen in my own life. I don't know if he's involved, but I would like to follow up with him, so let's pull him in.
And at some point, Bond has to stop rubbing it in to all the other UK or British Isles nations.
Yeah.
Just like, secret spy? Let's make him Scottish. Let's make him Irish.
Yeah.
Let's make him everyone who doesn't. It should be the opposite. It should be an Irish villain who wins at the end.
Yes, that's what I want to see. For England, James? No, for 32 counties.
But yeah, no, that's our story for the week. I have to run and catch a bus.
Excellent. Well, yeah, we'll chat to you next week.
Yeah, good luck.
See ya.
Shafter.